Hi guys, Josh, alcoholic.
Josh.
Happy.
Yeah, just started out real quick, 2 years, trippy. It's gone by really fast and really slow. It's kind of weird. So how I got here, I grew up just up the street from here. Had a pretty good family. It was just me and my sister and my folks. They stayed together. But my mom was an alcoholic. Pretty significant, My dad drank, not bad. Although he did, when he was younger, he had some issues, but coming back from Vietnam and stuff. But really, the main alcohol in my house came from my mom. One of the memories I have was junior high and high school, where I'd come home with friends on the weekends and have to carry her to bed. So I was kind of fucked up. So I knew what alcohol did and kind of where it could go. She was never abusive or mean or anything, but it was more just a lack of being present. So I had my first drink, I think I was 12. I was at our cabin in Wisconsin across the lake. We would drive boats across. It was my uncle's wedding. It's on an Indian reservation and bartenders there we served. So that night I got into it with screwdrivers. Little did I know that shit was going to be what took me out too. I think I had 3, 4, 5 maybe, but nobody other than like my sister and a couple of people who were a little bit older knew that I was drinking. So all the adults were partying it up. So I got to be the boat driver on the way home. So that was my first experience of a little driving while intoxicated, and I did it really well. Dr. Poe just fine, everything was good, so, I thought I had it all together. After that, I really liked the way that alcohol made me feel. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. So it took away my inhibitions. I could talk to girls, that kind of shit. But it got me going to where, so I think it was probably 8th grade-ish, maybe halfway through 8th grade, I started filling up squirt bottles, taking those to school with me. So I had a buddy of mine who was just regular liquor, parents' liquor cabinet, and start sucking that stuff down during school. So we got off to a pretty roaring start. By 9th grade, smoking weed and all that stuff. And then I remember starting high school. First day of high school, my amazing brain told me that I should be as high as I could and drink before my first day. So when all my teachers saw me for the first time, that's what they would expect. So it worked pretty well.
Checks out.
Sound, so high school, I was kind of the hesher, long-haired guy, but drinking. So alcohol just kind of, once it started, it just kept going. All the way through college, same shit. I ended up going to Cal State Chico, mainly because
For the education.
Say no more.
that it was a hell of a party school. I had no interest in college at all. It was like, well, I did have an interest in college, but it was not the class part of it. And I got a little reinforcement on that from my dad. He did tell me, he said, when I went to school, he said, what you're going to learn here is not the shit out of the books. You're going to learn about it. You're going to be on your own, create relationships, all this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, my relationship that I really nurtured was drugs and alcohol. So I got pretty good at it, Got done with that. I became a glass blower. Got into that because I saw these really cool pipes and stuff, so I was like, that shit, I can do that, I can make some money. And then I'm in, then I'm kind of one of the tour guys too, I'm in the scene. Which is cool, I did it for a long time, great, and whatnot. Let's see. Through that, when I was blowing glass, I moved back home, and I had a shop in the garage. And I had, let's see, I think it was almost a full week, my truck didn't leave the driveway. So I had become like a real hermit. All I was doing was staying home, drinking at night, blowing glass during the day, whatever, and I needed to be a little more social and a little bit more of a social guy. So my idea, that was a really good one, was let's start bartending, right? Because then I can get out and do some more in the evenings. So that's what I started doing. So I started bartending. It put me right into a nice little path with more booze and more booze. So I did that for a long time. Let's see. That basically brings me up to about 3 years ago now. So I was really good at drinking and partying. I did it for a long time. I had a lot of fun. I had a really good time. I was one of those functional alcoholics, we would call it, but now that I look back, maybe sort of functioning at about 50–60% of my capabilities is what it came down to. I was surviving. That was about it. I was not thriving. So then COVID hit, and that's where the wheels really came off for me. I started drinking real heavy in the mornings. I was never really a morning drinker for most of the time. Not that I didn't, it just wasn't every day. Well, anxiety kicked in. I never had anxiety before, and I had no idea how to deal with it, other than drink, and it would help kind of alleviate that. Well, I didn't know what was going on, so the more I drink, the more anxiety I got. That vicious cycle. I couldn't sleep, and then it was waking up at 2:30, not being able to sleep. There's another, we're back to those screwdrivers again, except now they look different. It's a pint glass, half full of vodka with a splash of orange juice in it to make it look a little orange, so it didn't look so bad. Setting that down, go back to bed. Up in the morning, doing the same thing. I finally got to the point where it was around the clock, and I got really, really sick. Stuck in bed, I was vomiting all day, every day, multiple times. Drinking just to keep it down. Trying to get that relief, get rid of the shakes, the anxiety, all that stuff. So anyways, I landed in, I face planted in the middle of the night when I was trying to drink a little bit. Got up in the morning, I was living with my dad at the time, and came out of my bedroom to go to the bathroom in the morning, and then I woke up on the ground, my dad looking over me, like, what the fuck's going on? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? So I had to crawl back to my room because I couldn't walk. And that's when my sister came up and took me off to the emergency room. So that was my first introduction to a detox, and then into a rehab. I did, I think 6 or 7 days in the detox, and then 14 days in rehab, because I didn't need the 28, now I knew that I needed to get cleaned up and I was under control. I can control this now, right? It was good. 14 days is enough for me. Got out of there, let's see, 7 days later, I was back in detox. And I didn't end up going back to rehab that time. I think I got a couple of weeks after that. Ended up back in an ER. So when the wheels came off, I mean, they came off. I was no rims, no wheels, no tires. Sparks were flying. Let's see, they put me in another rehab down in Santa Ana? Called the Lighthouse. Anyways, I didn't like that one. Yeah, so I AMA'd out of there. Some of this is a little fuzzy, so I'm telling you the best version I can remember. There's still more coming back to me. Oh, man. So anyways, ended up back in Goodman Center. I did 30 days that time. But I still, and I was picking up some tools, right? I was kind of starting to get some idea of what was going on. I still I said I came to believe I was powerless over alcohol, my life was unmanageable, but I didn't believe that. I look back, I don't know how I didn't believe it. And then I was going on vacation after that 30 days, to the Wisconsin, right? And that's where you do cocktail cruises and shit. Well, that was one that one I ended up so fucked up that I was there with my dad and my son, and they couldn't get me to move. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was dead in the world, passed out. Freaked my dad out so bad, and then that's when they called the paramedics on me. So my son had to see me being taken away on the river, which I still think about. It's fucked up. Detox there, came back, finally got back into the Goodman Center. Anyway, so rehab, all this stuff. This all happened in 1 year. But the last time I went into the facility, I didn't have any help. My family had said they couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't help me anymore. So I'd gotten kicked out. I didn't have a place to live. Couldn't see my son anymore. It was Halloween time. Right? I was sleeping in a shed in my friend's mother's bathroom. So it was pretty rough. But it was bad enough to where I made the call on my own, and I had to get myself some help. So luckily, they would take me back, but this time I didn't detox medically because I had AMA from enough detoxes, and we had to come insurance. That's the point. So I detoxed there by myself in that shed. It was pretty ugly. A lot of nasty shit, literally. But when I went back into rehab that last time, I remember the feeling of waving the white flag and like, I'm done. And I know for a fact that was the moment I surrendered. And I said, that's it, that's enough. I got beat down enough. We talked about the gift of desperation. There it was. This is just a little side note. I've always had this weird, major pain in the back of my neck, shot up in my head with an ice pick. Stress-induced. I dealt with it for like 8-9 years. And the day I walked into that rehab for the last time, they didn't make my bed for me this time. They just threw my sheets and my blankets at me and said, go make your bed. I was like, all right. But when I went in there, I made that bed and I laid down on it. The pain I had in the back of my neck disappeared. It was like just a huge weight off me. And it was because I knew I was beaten and I was done. So I got out of there. I put my time in, I paid attention, I got my sponsor, I took the suggestion, go to sober living, don't just go home. All the shit that I was told to do the very first time that I thought I didn't need to do because I could do this, right? I was a little hard-headed, I learned the hard way. I was really fortunate to make it back, end up in a ditch, right? So, in any case, got out, did the sober living, started going to meetings, did the 90-90. I found this meeting, you sick fuckers.
You're welcome.
Made me actually hang out and do this because I'd gone to not enough meetings, but a lot of meetings, and I didn't like them that much, I always got a little something out of it, but is just different, right, in this world for some reason. A lot of it has to do with coming in and seeing all you guys smiling and having a good time, right, and bullshitting, talking shit to each other and whatever. And that was what I kind of thought was going to be missing from the rest of my life. Quit drinking, quit using. I didn't think I was going to be able to have that kind of fun anymore. I was wrong. So I really do attribute this meeting to keeping me coming back. It's huge for me. So, you know, from there, I just, like I said, I just kind of started taking the suggestions, following the plan, right? I stopped asking questions. I came up with this idea of a higher power that I could relate to. I did not like religion. I didn't get it. I didn't want to get it. I now have an understanding of that. I have spirituality. I'm still not religious, but I have spirituality, which is huge. So let's see. What it's like now that I started following some instructions. I'm in school for a master's program. I've got a new career ahead of me. I get to help people. I lay down my head at night and I'm proud of myself. It's just been a long time for that. I got to walk, this last year I lost my dad. It was good. Yeah. So I got to sit with him when he took his last breath. It was gnarly. I got to do that. I got to take care of him for 6 months or so before he went. He got to see me sober. He got to see me go back to school. All that good shit. My son can depend on me. This program saved my life, saved everything that I have. You know, without it, I probably wouldn't be here right now. There's always promises. They happen if you just kind of just take your foot off the gas and, you know, stop trying to drive yourself into a wall. It works. You know, I had a hard time with it at the beginning. Why does this work? How does it work? I don't understand why this program is successful. I don't give a shit anymore why or not. All I know is it works. That's what people told me. And I didn't listen. I was like, no, I need to know how and why. And it doesn't matter how or why. It just matters that you kind of, okay, this program is really simple. It's not easy. There's hard days. Some days are harder than others. There's also a lot of really good days. You know? I'm having more fun now than I think I ever did. And I get so much joy out of the simple things in life, right? I can go for a walk down the street and get joy out of it, right? I'm paying attention. I'm part of this life that I'm living. I'm not just kind of moving through it with all the shit going on around me. I'm present, you know. Like I said, my kid can depend on me. My son's mom can depend on me. You know, maybe too much sometimes. My sister can depend on me. People at work know I'm going to show up and do what I say I'm going to do, right? It just all kind of comes true, right? Like I said, it's not easy every day. A lot of difficult days, but all the principles, and it just works. I always say too that, you know, I don't care if anybody's an alcoholic or an addict or not. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous is great to quit drinking, right? Or using, but it's way more than that. It's just, you know, it's a recipe to live, and live like a happy, fulfilling life, and be able to deal with shit that comes along the way. Part of that comes with this fellowship, right? I have a group of people in my life now that I can really depend on. It's not fair weather at all. So when the tough times get tough, you know, I know I can pick up the phone. My arm's gotten a little stronger, you know, from picking up a heavy phone. It's not as heavy anymore. I just know I can lift it. Make the call if I need to. So yeah, if you're newer, keep doing it. It's so worth it. You know, there's another thing. All the cliche sayings in AA used to drive me fucking crazy. I hated them. So annoying. And now I talk to people and it's like I'm saying, right? I'm like, shit, that guy. Well, there's a reason. They're there because they're true. So, the biggest thing is that there's hope. There's always there's hope. Anybody can do this. You know, if you just take a little time and listen. There's success for a reason. And you know, if you do it, you get to enjoy the ride along the way, right? And lay your head down at night, knowing you're doing the best you can, you feel good about yourself, wake up in the morning, you're not hungover, you don't feel like shit, you're not angry at the world, right? So much of the stuff. I think that's all I got, but thank you to every one of you guys, because you're the reason I'm still here.
Right on, Josh.